This is Good Morning Texas.
Lightning strikes hitting central Texas overnight. Good morning. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday Luray. Yeah, let's get a check on the weather because, listen, I slept through most of that.
Did you now?
Yeah, for some reason, thunderstorms make me sleep even harder. But when I did step out this morning, a little sprinkle here and there.
What's next, Josh?
I saw when I was walking my dog this morning, those flashes of lightning that were out there, and they've dissipated. The storms that were causing those have dissipated. We still have a few showers out there currently. You can't really see them on the Clark Roofing Cam and Harker Heights, but when you go over to radar, you can pick out a couple of these light rain showers. The heaviest now sitting over here from Italy down through Mertens, Bynum towards Abbott and West. This again is just light to moderate rain working through. Another little band about to roll into Bruceville, Eddy, and Troy, but that's all it is. Just a little bit of light rain out there, and we may have the potential for a couple of showers through the morning. I think the rest of the day will be quiet. We may see a stray shower in the afternoon, but better rain chances will work in overnight and into the morning tomorrow. I'll track that next round of showers and thunderstorms and have a look at that 10-day coming up.
Come home. Let your mother and I stand beside you. Let us stand beside you and face whatever is to come. It is not something you need to do alone.
Still no sign of Fort Cavazos Army Specialist Craig Chamberlain. He's been missing for a week now. His wife tells us the last time she saw him was back on May 15th, leaving their house in Killeen. The Army says he went AWOL back in March.
And this morning, well, you just heard from his parents who are sharing a message for their son.
And Craig, if you are out there and watching this, we love you. You know you have a huge support system here at home. Nothing in this world could ever make us stop loving you.
The Army says Chamberlain is 5'7" and weighs around 156 pounds, that is. Now, he was last seen wearing a white t-shirt and gym shorts. His family says he's been battling depression. Now, if you know where he might be, please call Army investigators. That number is right there on the bottom of your screen. You can also send in your tip anonymously. And happening today, the Texas Department of Public Safety will honor officers from all over the state who made the ultimate sacrifice to protect and serve. A Peace Officers Memorial Service is happening at DPS headquarters in Austin at 10 this morning. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick will speak at that event. A wreath will be dedicated to the fallen during the service.
Tomorrow's the one-year anniversary of the massacre at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. Out of respect for the victims, the city is not letting anyone park in the main plaza at Robb Elementary, the Hilling Uvalde murals, or the Civic Center parking lot. On the eve of the anniversary, many understandably angry.
In a year's time, they still don't have answers to simple questions that they should have gotten. I mean, I'm the mayor. I've been 1 year. I haven't got one briefing from anybody from day one. Not one. Nor has the county judge. That's very frustrating. So if it's frustrating on us, you can only imagine what it does to them.
The gunman took the lives of 19 innocent little kids and their 2 teachers. The city wants to demolish the school, but that's on hold right now because of a court order. And the school district hopes to get that resolved this summer. And join us here Wednesday on 25 News for special coverage of the shooting and its ongoing impact. You can find our series of reports online at kxxv.com.
And from the Capitol this morning, the Senate approving a bill that would limit school lessons and programs related to sexual orientation and gender identity. The Texas Tribune reporting the bill would impact teachers in public and charter schools. And supporters say it expands parental rights, but critics say the bill's broad language could prevent teachers from discussing important issues like the AIDS epidemic, women's right to vote, and marriage equality. It needs another vote before heading back to the House.
State vehicle inspections could still be in the rearview mirror. One proposal would end the requirement, but you'd still have to pay the fee.
However, one inspector says it's not just bad for his business, but also for your safety. 25 News reporter Andrew Lemparski spoke with him.
At over 12,000 stations across the state, inspectors flag down a number of safety hazards daily.
Bald tires where the tread is completely worn, stop lamps that are completely out, faulty windshield wipers, faulty brake systems.
But if House Bill 3297 passes, inspectors say those hazards will go unchecked.
House Bill 3297 will eliminate these outdated vehicle safety inspections in Texas.
Texas senators voted to pass the bill this weekend. Lawmakers calling these $7 inspections unnecessary. But a study from the University of Texas shows the current inspection program employs thousands of inspectors and cuts down on deaths on the road.
It's going to put Texas lives in jeopardy. It's going to put more pressure on our police officers as if they don't have enough pressure already. And it's going to put small businesses out of work.
The future of those annual inspections, just another vote and a governor's signature away. Andrew Lamparski, 25 News.
Thank you, Andrew. Now, another bill passed by the Senate would exempt electric vehicles from undergoing yearly emissions and exhaust testing. Some counties require those tests to pass inspection.
A McLennan County man dealing with a huge problem every time it rains. In about 5 minutes, the battle he's facing and why the county says he'll have to pay for it himself.
Plus, we're saying goodbye to a beloved animal, starting a new life elsewhere. The zoo's plans for Zeke the giraffe coming up.
And a few showers out there this morning. You'll want to keep the umbrella handy over the next few days. More storm chances on the way. I'll walk you through them coming up.
6:09 now. I didn't hear any thunder as I was driving into work, but I certainly saw the lightning, lighting things up out there.
So was it thundering as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, when lightning heats up the air, and when that happens, you get thunder, but you can see lightning much further than you can hear thunder because, you know, the speed of sound. So, but that's why we were able to see it this morning and not hear it. But there were some folks in Central Texas that did hear it as those thunderstorms came in and were falling apart here across the area. Now we're seeing showers that are kind of left over at times here along I-35 as you look at the live radar network. Some of the heaviest rain this morning falling right now in Hillsborough and in West. This is just light rain, though, light to moderate rain about to roll into Hubbard and Mount Calm and into Elmont as well. A little bit of a light little shower there near Eddy, back over towards Golinda, and even some light showers towards Cranfield's Gap. But this is about all we'll see here for the first part of the day. I think most of the afternoon will be dry as well. The only caveat is as these storms die, they kind of put out a little bit of a spin, and occasionally that can spark off some thunderstorms in the afternoon. So just keep the umbrella handy. Meanwhile, we're in what's called northwest flow, which means what blows up in the Panhandle and in West Texas heads our way. So what we're seeing this morning is something we're likely going to see the next 2 or 3 days. And once again, we're watching the chance for strong thunderstorms to develop out towards Amarillo, Lubbock, towards San Angelo, and those will head our way overnight. You can see how this plays out on Future Track. There's those thunderstorms blowing up here as we get into the evening. Some of those working into our area overnight. Once again, expect to see some lightning in the overnight hours, maybe some rain that impacts your morning commute. Only this time we'll have some leftover energy in the afternoon that may be enough to trigger some showers in the afternoon for your Wednesday. We'll do it again on Thursday as well. Models really are bad at anticipating where this is going to go, though. So all of us just have the chance here over the next few days of seeing some overnight and morning showers and thunderstorms. We'll continue that all the way into Friday. I think Saturday and Sunday we still keep some rain around, and even into Memorial Day there's a chance for showers and thunderstorms, but any sort of chance right now looks spotty, so don't cancel your plans just yet.
Alrighty, Josh. Well, many of us are welcoming the recent rain, but one man in Elk isn't celebrating.
All that rain making a big mess for him. Gerald Linton lives just downhill from a drainage ditch. When the ditch fills up, this is what happens. The water trickles down onto his family's private road. A few months ago, the rain washed out part of the road, and every time it rains now, the hole gets bigger.
We went ahead and fixed it. And at that time, it was about 3 foot wide and about 4 foot deep when we fixed it. Well, we had a 3 3/10 inch rain came through here and did this.
This morning, the hole's more than 5 feet wide. Since it's a private road, he's got to fix it himself. He says it's going to cost about $2,000 to do that. Well, if you're trying to recycle and clean, changes are coming.
The city is temporarily moving its recycling containers. Now, they're being moved from the Special Events Center to the back parking lot of the Civic and Conference Center. The change is expected to last through June 3rd. The city says this is all due to a carnival coming into town. All right, I've been waiting to get to this story. The Cameron Park Zoo is saying goodbye today to a beloved giraffe.
Zeke's moving to Cincinnati. Look at this guy. Zookeepers say he's hit the road today after spending the first 2 years of his life in Waco. Moving animals from one zoo to the next, nothing new, part of the species survival plan.
We've had several animal moves throughout the spring, and I mean, if you think about our entire collection, from snakes to the birds to the reptiles, we're pretty frequently moving animals in or out for breeding purposes or exhibit purposes, just depending upon what that species is and what our goal for that species is here at our zoo.
Well, Zeke's mom, Penelope's pregnant again. The baby's due this summer, so another one coming.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, 2 new Baylor Bears are on their way to campus.
But we're not talking about students. The university is getting ready to welcome Judge Indy and Judge Bell. The Cubs were born in January at a wildlife park in Idaho. They're expected on campus by midsummer, just in time for the new school year. Now, this comes after Judge Joy passed away last year, and her sister, Judge Lady, was moved to the Bill and Eva Williams Bear Habitat. And one of Waco's best known landmarks is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, take a look at this picture. This is Justice Adcock standing next to a Lego model of the historic Alico building in downtown Waco. It took about 2,000 Lego bricks to build this thing. Right now it's on display outside the genealogy department. You can stop by the West Waco Library on Bosque Boulevard to check it out. Pretty detailed.
I love
Yeah.
it. I probably need to go see that in person. All right, well, time is ticking for answers.
The president and the Speaker of the House are optimistic about a possible deal on the debt ceiling. We'll explain how close they are to actually making it happen. And here's some good news. Ruby Rose got adopted after her appearance on Good Morning Texas Friday. Who could say no to that smile? Let's do it again this Friday. We'll be right back. It's 6:18. These are the top stories we're following.
A man is accused or is charged with trying to kill the president after crashing a U-Haul near the White House overnight. Police believe he intentionally drove into security barriers a block away from the president's home. Now, no details about a possible motive. However, according to reports, a Nazi flag was found in the truck.
The debt ceiling debate's at a standstill. There's still no deal from the meeting between the president and the House Speaker on Monday, but both sides are calling this meeting productive. They're at odds over budget cuts and spending limits, and they agree defaulting on America's debt's not an option.
And TikTok now suing the state of Montana over its ban of the app. The state's governor signed the ban into law last week, but TikTok says that law violates the First Amendment. The company says the ban is based on unfounded claims that China's government can access user data.
All right, time for a quick check on the weather here this morning.
Yeah, Josh, is it going to get, well, it was raining earlier. Is it dry now? But I doubt it.
It's a little drier now. There are still a couple of showers on the radar, though. If you're walking out this morning, you're dealing with temperatures that are in the mid-60s out there, so plenty of humidity, and that is translating to a few showers on radar. You can see some of these slightly heavier showers near Hillsborough. Those are still moderate rain, and also some light rain on the north side of Bell County. You will have to deal with that as you're heading out to the bus stop. Temperatures will be in the lower 60s. By afternoon, though, we're talking about mid-80s. So despite the rain, go ahead and have short sleeve shirts, and go ahead and pack an umbrella too. You may end up needing it here later on this afternoon, or later on today, this morning rather. This afternoon, though, we're heading to the mid-80s. There's your highs this afternoon. Normally should be at 87. We'll be calling for about 86, 87 on the nose there. More shower chances are on the way. I'll have that full 10-day forecast coming up.
All right, Josh, see you in a bit. A Clean ISD senior is helping students with special needs have the time of their lives. 25 News anchor Lauren Adams shows us how he's using his barber skills to help them look and feel their best.
These students are having the time of their lives at Angel Prom. And they look so good, all thanks in part to Catrone Eastland.
A teacher came up to me and asked what I like to do it, so I said yes, and the next day she took me in a room and I cut the hair. I cut the kids' hair.
Eastland is a barber, and when he was asked to use his skills to help the students, he jumped at the chance.
I just wanted to give them a haircut, you know, that's what I do. I'm a barber, I cut hair, and that was a good thing.
And you can see in their smiles how it made them feel. Eastland even said he'll do it again in the future.
That's actually my first time. That's my first time doing that. But I always wanted to do something like that to help somebody else.
Helping them have a night to remember.
What a great kid.
Yeah, love that.
Good for him. Well, veteran actor with dozens of movies under his belt is being remembered.
Why Ray Stevenson's death comes as a surprise to the entertainment industry. We have the latest coming up. This morning, the entertainment world grieving the loss of actor Ray Stevenson. His publicist says the actor died Sunday but did not reveal a cause of death. Now, he might be best remembered for his work on the HBO series Rome, as well as 4 films in the movie RRR, which drew international acclaim last year. He was just 58 years old.
Big changes are coming to HBO Max today. First off, it's no longer called HBO Max. Warner Brothers Discovery launching Max today. It combines HBO Max and Discovery Plus. Previous HBO Max subscribers now have access to shows from Discovery, HGTV, Food Network, including Waco Zone Fixer Upper. Prices start at $9.99.
Just when you thought you were going to cut your streaming ads.
I know it.
This is what they do.
Got to get one more.
Right, exactly. All right, well, moving on to giving away a Good Morning Texas coffee mug this morning.
Yeah, let's do it. And today's winner is Susan Petrie. Congratulations, Susan. We'll let you know you can pick up one of those Good Morning Texas mugs.
And if you want one of these things, just go to our website, kxxv.com/contest. Click the mug and give us your email address. We'll put your name into the drawing for our next giveaway. That's coming up here tomorrow. Trying to plan your day ahead, though. If you were out overnight, you might have got rained on.
Yeah. So definitely grabbing the umbrella today and possibly a jacket, right?
Yeah, you might want to just have the umbrella just in case. We are tracking a few showers out there this morning. Not everyone is going to see them, but a few of us may see a few sprinkles, maybe some light rain showers, and we'll even have chances try to form later on this afternoon as well as later on overnight as well. You can see some of those showers are pivoting through, though. We had a pretty good line of thunderstorms that was working in from the west. Kind of petered out as it neared to Gatesville, Killeen, Waco, but you can still see a little bit of that light rain forming in its wake. The energy with it is to our northeast, and as that passes into our area or just east of our area later on this afternoon, there is a chance we see a shower along it. But right now, just some light rain showers is all we're seeing from Bruceville, Eddy over towards Marlin, Lorena, even a few showers that have weakened towards Cransville's Gap and also towards Turnersville. So really not much going on. We do expect more thunderstorms to blow up here off to the northwest, though, and since we're in that northwest flow, what happens out there is going to be heading our way. So while we stay quiet for most of the day today, temperatures in the lower 80s by noon and mid 80s by 4 o'clock, we will watch thunderstorms develop off to our northwest by late evening. Those could roll in as we go through the overnight hours, especially if you live west of I-35. Don't expect severe weather, don't expect anything too heavy, but don't be surprised if you see some lightning, maybe some rain in the morning. And we'll do it again tomorrow as well, although I think we'll have a little bit more energy to create some scattered showers in the afternoon. Our best chances of rain will come in the evening and into those overnight hours. That's what happens this time of year, late May, early June. We see that potential for those storms to do that. 86 for today, 82 for Wednesday, and 84 for Thursday. I do have rain chances lingering on into the weekend, and even on Memorial Day, the potential for storms is there, but right now does not look like you have to cancel your plans. Still, we'll watch it, and temperatures don't look to be moving at all. Low to mid 80s continuing.
A lot more on the way from us.
Yeah, and if you're headed out the door, it's now 6:28. We'll be right back.
Connecting Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Top of the morning to you, 6:31. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae. Well, rain is hitting parts of Central Texas this morning.
Josh Johns keeping him on his toes out there. What's going on?
Yeah, there's really not a ton going on, but enough that a few folks are seeing some showers this morning. Most of us just waking up to a humid start to the day, mid-60s out there currently, but the Live Radar Network does show you a few of these showers. Waco, you look dry right now, but Temple on over towards Marlin, Rosebud, Bruceville, Eddy, there's some light to moderate rain in this little batch here and another one about to roll into Franklin. So don't be surprised if you see a few sprinkles there on your morning commute. I think the rest of the day will be dry, save for the potential for a pop-up shower later on this afternoon with temperatures in the mid-80s. More storm chances arrive overnight and tomorrow. We'll take you hour by hour through that forecast and have a look at the 10-day coming up.
Come home. Let your mother and I stand beside you. Let us stand beside you and face whatever is to come. It is not something you need to do alone.
Fort Cavazos Army Specialist Craig Chamberlain still missing. He hasn't been seen in a week. His wife telling us the last time she saw him was May 15th, leaving their house in Kalina. The Army says he went AWOL back in March.
And this morning, his parents are sharing a message for their son.
And Craig, if you are out there and watching this, we love you. You know you have a huge support system here at home. Nothing in this world could ever make us stop loving you.
The Army says Chamberlain is 5'7" and weighs around 156 pounds. He was last seen wearing a white t-shirt and gym shorts. His family says he's been battling depression. But if you know where he might be, please call Army investigators at the number right there on your screen. You can send in your tip anonymously.
Tomorrow marks the one-year anniversary of the massacre at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. Out of respect for the victims, the city is not letting anyone park in the main plaza at the school, the Healing Uvalde murals, or the Civic Center parking lot. And on the eve of the anniversary, many are understandably angry.
In a year's time, they still don't have answers to simple questions that they should have gotten. I mean, I'm the mayor. I've been 1 year. I haven't got one briefing from anybody from day one. Not one. Nor has the county judge. That's very frustrating. So if it's frustrating on us, you can only imagine what it does to them.
The gunman took the lives of 19 innocent little kids and their 2 teachers. The city wants to demolish the school, but that's on hold right now because of a court order. The district's hoping to get that resolved by this summer. Join us here Wednesday on 25 News. Special coverage of the mass shooting and the ongoing impact. You can find our series of reports online at kxxv.com.
From the Capitol this morning, the Senate approving a bill that would limit school lessons and programs related to sexual orientation and gender identity. The Texas Tribune reporting the bill would impact teachers in public and charter schools. Now, supporters say it expands parental rights, but critics say the bill's broad language could prevent teachers from discussing important issues like the AIDS epidemic, women's right to vote, and marriage equality. It needs another vote before heading back to the House. And every year you have to get your car inspected, but some lawmakers are trying to put that program in park. The idea is one step closer to becoming law after an amendment to a House bill passes the Senate over the weekend. Supporters say the inspections are inconvenient and they don't actually make the roads safer. But critics argue getting rid of the requirement would cut jobs and threaten lives.
An inconvenience. Going to the doctor is an inconvenience, right? Going to the DMV to get your driver's license is an inconvenience. But if $7 can be the reason that you are safe on the road and that you are not worried about your child or your grandparents driving out there, I don't think that's a big fee to pay.
If this proposal passes, safety inspections could be eliminated in January of 2025, but drivers would still get charged $7 for an inspection fee every time they renew their registration. And take a look at this. Another bill passed by the Senate would exempt electric vehicles from undergoing yearly emissions and exhaust testing. Some counties require those tests to pass inspection.
Kids are getting out of school soon and more people are hitting the road for Memorial Day weekend. So DPS troopers will be enforcing their Click It or Ticket campaign to save lives. They're looking out for drivers not following the move over slow down law. Last year alone, they wrote more than 66,000 tickets. Law enforcement urging drivers to celebrate responsibly and get a sober driver. Well, he's one of the most popular attractions at the Cameron Park Zoo and minutes away. Why this young giraffe's hitting the road and saying so long to Waco.
But first, when it rains, it pours for one Central Texas man, while he's fed up with a problem that seems to be getting worse in his neighborhood.
Went for a little walk yesterday. It was nice and comfortable. You know, it wasn't too hot yet.
Yeah, not yet. It did feel really nice outside yesterday.
Yeah, humid out there as well. So while it's nice, we have the humidity, the moisture eventually turns into a couple of showers. But, you know, May could be much hotter. I mean, we've seen highs get up towards 100 this time of year. Thankfully, we're hovering around those average highs. So that's why it feels so nice out there lately. And we'll have another day shaping up like that today, though we are starting it off with a couple of showers out there this morning. You can see them on the Live Radar Network. We had a pretty good band of thunderstorms that was working through overnight, kind of fell apart there as it near the I-35 corridor. Now just a couple of light rain showers that are pulling through. Some of those actually moving into parts of Hill County. You can see some of those heavier showers that we're trying to build in. They're still light now, though, by Prairie Hill. And then down into Bell and Falls County, some light rain stretching from Temple back over through Lott, Marlin. Even had some showers to the north. Those have weakened as well. That's going to be heading towards the Brazos Valley. Now, this is all happening because we're in what's called a northwest flow aloft. And that basically means anything that forms up to the northwest comes down into our area. The winds in the atmosphere taking it down that way. So we watch to the west to see where things fire off as we go through the afternoon. And once again, we're looking at an afternoon where some strong to severe storms will be firing off over West Texas. Those will work in later on overnight. As far as today's concerned, I think we're rather dry. We may have enough energy to squeeze out a stray shower this afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Watch thunderstorms blow up to our northwest again later on as we go through the afternoon and evening. Those will work in later on tonight and into the overnight hours. Don't be surprised if you hear some thunder. Wake up to some of that. Maybe some rain impacting your morning commute. We have the potential for a few showers in the afternoon tomorrow, and then we're once again watching the northwest where showers and thunderstorms will try to blow up, and we'll even do it on Friday. And we'll keep these rain chances going on through the weekend and on into early next week as well. So while it's not a washout, we will have times that we see a couple of thunderstorms try to rumble on through, and that's why you see continuing rain chances going on into next week. Don't cancel Memorial Day plans yet. We'll keep watching it for you.
Alrighty, thank you, Josh. Well, many of us are welcoming the recent rain, but one man in Elk isn't quite celebrating.
He's not happy about the rain because it's making a big mess there. Gerald Linton lives just downhill from a drainage ditch. When the ditch fills up, the water trickles down onto his family's private road. A few months ago, the rain washed out part of the road there. Look at that. Every time it rains now, the hole gets bigger.
We went ahead and fixed it. And at that time, it was about 3 foot wide and about 4 foot deep when we fixed it. Well, we had a 3 3/10 inch rain came through here and did this.
This morning, the hole's 5 feet wide. Since it's a private road, he's got to pay for it himself to get it fixed. He says it'll cost about $2,000. Well, if you recycle in Killeen, some changes are coming.
The city is temporarily moving its recycling containers. Now they're being moved from the special event center to the back parking lot of the Civic and Conference Center. This change is expected to last through June 3rd, and the city says this is due to a carnival coming into town. Well, the Cameron Park Zoo is saying goodbye today to a beloved giraffe.
Zeke's moving to Cincinnati now. Zookeepers say that he's hitting the road today after spending the first 2 years of his life here in Waco. Moving animals from one zoo to the next is nothing new. It's part of their species survival plan.
We've had several animal moves throughout the spring, and I mean, if you think about our entire collection, from snakes to the birds to the reptiles, we're pretty frequently moving animals in or out for breeding purposes or exhibit purposes, just depending upon what that species is and what our goal for that species is here at our zoo.
So Zeke's mom, Penelope, is pregnant again. The baby's due this summer, so we're losing one giraffe, getting another one.
But congratulations to her.
Absolutely. 2 new Baylor Bears are on their way to campus.
But we're not talking about students. The university is getting ready to welcome Judge Indy and Judge Bell right there on your screen. Aren't they cute? The Cubs were born in January at a wildlife park in Idaho. They're expected on campus by midsummer. This comes after Judge Joy passed away last year, and her sister, Judge Lady, was moved to the Bill and Eva Williams Bear Habitat. All right, well, President Biden continuing his push for student loan forgiveness.
Just ahead, why the White House is fighting back against a Republican-led student debt bill. And here's some good news. Ruby Rose was here on the show Friday. Guess what? She got adopted. Look at that face. You can't say no to her. We're going to do it again this Friday. We'll be right back.
On Capitol Hill this morning, an investigation underway right now after an overnight scare at the White House.
Police are charging the driver of a U-Haul truck for running into barriers near the White House. He's accused now of threatening to kill, kidnap, or harm the president or vice president. Here's Lindsay Watts.
Overnight, tense moments in the nation's capital. Police say the driver of this U-Haul truck rammed into security barriers protecting Lafayette Park just yards from the White House in what may have been an intentional act. Video then shows the truck ramming the barrier a second time.
I think at first I was just in shock.
This was Benjamin Berger's first night in D.C. He says he heard the crash and then saw people running.
Thought maybe it was just an accident, and then the U-Haul backed up and rammed it again. And at that point, it didn't move. And then that's when the Secret Service police converged on it.
Another witness was walking in Lafayette Square at the time.
And the truck cut right in front of the path that I was going to take onto the sidewalk. So this was probably no more than 25 feet in front of me. My first thought was a medical emergency.
The driver is in custody and facing charges. Sources tell ABC News the truck has been cleared for explosives. Reuters later captured this image that shows a Nazi flag and backpack being removed from the truck. Overnight, Secret Service cordoned off a multi-block perimeter surrounding the White House and park. The Washington Post reports the historic Hay Adams Hotel was even evacuated at request of Secret Service. The driver is facing multiple charges, including assault with a dangerous weapon, destruction of federal property, and threatening to harm the president. No word yet on any motive. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Lindsay, thank you. And meanwhile, the president vowing to veto a Republican bill that would block his student loan forgiveness program. The White House saying the bill would hurt the economy. And we're also understanding that it prevents millions of Americans from having their debts paid off. According to the White House, House Republicans expected to vote on the measure this week, but it's not expected to pass the Senate. Well, America's getting closer to hitting the debt ceiling.
We'll check in with our Washington correspondent for the latest on those negotiations.
We're tracking a few showers out there this morning. More storm chances are hanging around out of that full 10-day forecast coming up.
6:49 now. These are the top stories we're following.
Former President Donald Trump appearing in a New York courtroom today by video. Now, this virtual hearing is part of the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Trump faces nearly 36 felony counts. The judge is expected to go over new rules today, which will prevent Trump from using evidence to attack witnesses. And the search continues this morning for a missing Fort Cavazos Army specialist. Craig Chamberlain hasn't been seen in a week. The Army says he went AWOL back in March. Now he is 5'7" and weighs around 156 pounds. He was last seen wearing a t-shirt and gym shorts. His family says he's been battling depression. If you know where he is, please call police.
Later this morning, DPS will honor fallen officers from all over the state. A peace officer memorial service is happening at DPS headquarters in Austin at 10 a.m. A wreath will be dedicated to those who've made the ultimate sacrifice. Time is 6:50 here this morning, and some of us got a little rain out there.
Yeah. What is it? What is it feeling like right now, Josh?
Yeah, pretty humid out there indeed. We did have some showers, some thunderstorms that tried to work in overnight. A lot of them fell apart, but still dealing with a few showers, although Colleen's dry right now. The Live Radar Network will show you a couple of these showers that are working through Falls, Robertson County right now. These are generally light, but don't be surprised if you see some sprinkles from Rosebud over through Calvert, Franklin. You'll see some of that here going through the morning hours. I think the rest of the day will be rather dry, but there may be enough energy that we squeeze out a stray shower or thunderstorm late in the afternoon. I think most of us end up missing out, and then we'll once again monitor for thunderstorms to fire to our northwest overnight and try to work in as we go through the overnight hours. I'll have that full 10-day forecast coming up.
Alrighty, thank you, Josh. Well, all eyes on Washington this morning, where lawmakers are negotiating to avoid hitting that debt ceiling we've been talking about. Now, at the same time, Republicans are gearing up for the race to the White House.
25 News Washington correspondent Joe St. George there live. Good morning, Joe. And is there any progress from this latest meeting between the president and the Speaker of the House? And Joe, how could that default impact us?
Yeah, it's the biggest policy and political story happening right now in the country. There's no doubt about it. The country's never defaulted before, and we've never inched this close to a default since 2011. In that case, lawmakers ultimately came up with a solution. That is what a lot of people here on Capitol Hill believe will ultimately happen, but we're not there yet. A 10-letter word's been used on Capitol Hill this morning to describe yesterday's meeting at the White House: productive. Productive is how President Biden described the meeting. Speaker McCarthy described it as productive as well, but there's still no deal. There's some agreement on some low-hanging fruit items like unspent COVID stimulus dollars, some perhaps agreement on permitting reform that would speed up infrastructure energy projects in Texas and around the country. But there remains a philosophical division on how big the federal government should actually be. Both sides are tens of billions of dollars apart. It's important with this debate to remember what's at stake. We can have on screen for you, again, what would happen if a default would occur potentially in early June, as early as June 1st, according to the Treasury Department. And in that scenario, the Treasury Department would have to prioritize what gets paid. They would have to see, okay, what do we have and what can we pay? Just like a household would have to if there's no income, if someone was laid off and doesn't have a paycheck in a certain month. Things like Social Security checks, military pay, federal workers' salary, all could be at risk. Of course, many economists have warned that a temporary default could cause a mini recession in this country, rattle the markets to such a degree that it would result in many layoffs. So a lot to watch here. I think a lot of Americans, certainly a lot of Texans, are used to lawmakers getting things done in the 11th hour. How many government shutdown fights have we covered over the years, right? But we're following this so closely because what happens if they don't get it done in the 11th hour? And there would be a lot of impacts for a lot of people.
And Joe, it's a big week for Republicans. In South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott is launching his presidential bid, and then you have Florida Governor Ron DeSantis expected to follow as well. But what kind of an impact could this have on the race heading into the summer?
It's starting to get crowded, isn't it? And it certainly feels that way. Senator Tim Scott announcing on Monday he starts his campaign with over $20 million in the bank. He's spending $6 million in campaign cash early. He's not polling particularly well, but he has a lot of resources that perhaps he could generate some buzz in a place like Iowa or a place like New Hampshire. He's already a well-known name in South Carolina, which is an early primary state. As far as Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis, if he gets in the race, as it looks like he may in the next 24 to 48 hours, he would represent the biggest challenge thus far to former President Donald Trump, who, we should be very clear, is the undisputed frontrunner in this race. Real Clear Politics has his lead at around 36 points or so right now. I think the biggest question is, does any of these candidates really go after the former president and attack him head on? He's vulnerable on issues like recent indictments, January 6th, but so far we haven't seen candidates do that. We've seen candidates want to promote themselves, their vision for America, their vision of what the Republican Party should look like, as opposed to taking on the former president head on. By the way, the field could grow even more crowded in the coming days and weeks. Former Vice President Mike Pence is said to be making a decision soon as well.
All right. Joe St. George live from Capitol Hill. Good to see you, Joe. Let's get back to the weather now this morning. And boy, some of us did get some rain overnight. I saw lightning.
Yeah, you saw lightning. Josh explained that there was thunder. Quite quiet for some of us. But listen, I slept through it all. So there you go.
I saw lightning as well. And what happened was these storms fell apart as they moved through. So now we're just dealing with a couple of these showers that are working through. You can see them right there moving into Bell and Falls County, some of the heavier showers right now. And they're still just generally light to moderate. So don't be surprised if you do see some sprinkles. We'll watch for thunderstorms to blow up off to the northwest again today. I do think we have at least the chance for a pop-up shower here through the afternoon, but many of us end up missing out on that. Thunderstorms that blow up to the northwest, they'll once again roll down into our area later on as we go through the overnight hours. Don't be surprised if you see a repeat of what we saw this morning with showers approaching us and then falling apart as they near the I-35 corridor. Still some lightning, some thunder. It may wake you up in the morning. Some of that energy may lead to a scattered shower in the afternoon as well. More of those thunderstorms trying to form late Wednesday into Thursday, and we continue this pattern on into Friday. I think the pattern breaks down a bit Saturday and Sunday, but the moisture's still around, so we keep the isolated chances. And that'll take us on into Memorial Day and next week, too.
Okay, GMA is up next.
Yes, thank you so much for starting your day with us. Have a good one.